It's 1967. Wait, is it? No, okay. It's 1969, and Apollo 11 launches the first men onto the moon. Throughout the whole journey, these men are qualified by NASA to wear one wristwatch and one wristwatch alone, and that is the Omega Speedmaster Professional. Now you might be wondering, Lord, what's so special about the Omega Speedmaster? Why are you bringing it up? Well, the fact that Omega is known worldwide for this one watch which has this insanely rich history of being the first watch on the moon, and there's been a billion special editions regarding the whole lore of the Speedmaster. But now there's something totally different, special edition wise, for the Omega Speedmaster, and that is none other than a collaboration with the watch company Swatch. Yes, if you know anything about watches, you probably heard of Swatch. They're the company that makes quartz plastic watches that cost like 80 bucks. And Omega, that's right, Omega, the same brand that makes the $10,000 Speedmaster Professional, has made a collaboration with them. And I bring you these, the Omega Speedmaster Swatch MoonSwatch. It's a mouthful, I know, and we have two colors here. We have the Mission to Venus and we have the Mission to Pluto. And today I'm going to unbox and review them for you, give you my opinion on them and whether I'd like to see more in the future, and give you a detailed list of pros and cons for this watch and whether you should buy it after a month of its release, basically. So let's get right into this. So you might be asking yourself, why is this so special and why do you have two of these watches? Well, this collaboration was something totally unexpected. Not many people expected Swatch to collaborate with one of the biggest watchmakers in the world, one that rivals Rolex in quality and prestige. Omega and Swatch, well, Swatch owns Omega basically. It's like if VW and Lamborghini, well, I'll just give you a clip.
Lamborghini are going to be launching a new Aventador in collaboration with their parent company VW. To keep in line with VW's pricing, they're going to have to make this car a bit cheaper. Rather than using carbon fiber, they're going to be using a plastic. Rather than using the 6.5 litre V12 engine that they normally have in the Aventador, they're going to be using the 1 litre 80 horsepower engine that you normally find in the Polo.
Yeah, it's like if an Aventador had a 4-cylinder VW engine. And it's kind of crazy. It's kind of, you know, knocking down the whole prestige of the whole moonwatch, Speedmaster. I don't know why I said Moonmaster. That's actually a pretty cool name, Moonmaster. Omega and Swatch decided to do this whole collaboration, 11 different colors, all inspired by different planets and satellites in our solar system, going back to the whole lore with the NASA thing and everything. And I managed to get the two colors that I wanted the most. I'm gonna go over how I got these watches and what I think of the whole release procedure, because honestly it was really hectic. So April 24th, 2022, the MoonSwatch has been around for around like a month, but they've only done one restock here in Toronto where I live. And actually my local Swatch boutique is 45 minutes away from me at the Eden Center. So the thing is, they barely restocked, and the fact of the matter is, all these people, all these watch collectors from all over the country are coming to this one location here at Eden Center when they barely restocked, and their call line is flooded with like messages about this MoonSwatch and whether there'll be restocks and whatever. So one day I decided to go to the Eden Center to pick up these watches, and actually it wasn't to pick up these watches. I went to go get my prom suit because prom is coming up and I wanted to look totally dapper, and I just had a feeling that if I go early enough, maybe they might restock the MoonSwatch, because it was on a weekend. It was around 3 weeks after the last restock, and luckily for me, there was a lineup. There was only 18 other people in front of me in line, but I ran in line, stayed there, and I waited 2 hours, 2.5 hours to get a ticket that lets me purchase one MoonSwatch. And you might be wondering, Lord, if you only got one ticket, how'd you get two MoonSwatches? Well, there was only 21 watches available. 21 watches, and basically we got 10% of the stock just because my dad got a ticket. And luckily for me, I got the two colors that I wanted the most, the Mission to Pluto and the Mission to Venus. These colors are totally radical and they're totally different from what you expect from a typical watch. There was more neutral colors and more bold colors, such as the Mission to the Sun and also the Mission to Uranus. I know. Anyways, yeah, so I managed to get these 2 colors, and here they are, the Mission to Venus in a pink box. As you can see, on the back it has all the colors, all the planets. On the side it has the crown design of the actual watch, which is a very nice touch. They're cardboard boxes, nothing too special for a basically $320 Canadian watch. This is the Mission to Pluto. It's a bluish gray, and there's actually fun facts about the watches or the planets on these boxes, which is cool. The unboxing experience isn't much really. You slide off this sleeve and you're greeted with a normal just box that just opens up like this. The watch would usually be here, but obviously I've worn the watches. It's been about 2 weeks since I got them, so I've been wearing them a lot. Inside you get a pamphlet which has a bunch of details about the actual collaboration. You get your warranty and your user manual cards in here as well. And yeah, for $250, I kind of expected maybe some better packaging, not a cardboard box, especially because it is a collaboration with none other than Omega. But I guess there is some compromises you have to make for these collaborations, I guess. You see, one downside with this whole launch procedure thing is that there were no online drops. The restocks were very limited. If any, there were only 10 pieces per restock. You never knew when the restocks were. You had to go down to the store to find out. And I only really got these watches because of my luck. If I didn't go that day, I probably never would have gotten these watches, especially because Swatch has backed down their promise to release this watch online for the moment, which is terrible, terrible, terrible. Swatch is messing up really badly. It was honestly really frustrating waiting out in the cold for 2 hours for just a ticket, and even then they said there might not be a possibility that we get those watches because they are reserved for some people, which I don't get. No one had any reservation thing. It was stupid. But yeah, I think Swatch really dropped the ball with the whole release procedure on this, and that pretty much tanked the hype after a few weeks. And I don't see anyone really talking about these watches anyways. It's only the people that do have them that are often complaining about the terrible build quality and whatever. So right here we have the Mission to Pluto, which is a very, very radically different Swatch, as you can see. It has the original case dimensions and the size of the Speedmaster, not MoonSmaster. I'm just gonna call it the MoonMaster. I think that's a sick name. It comes on a Velcro strap, which is inspired by the original Velcro strap that NASA astronauts had to wear with the steel Speedmaster when they were on the Apollo missions. The material is made out of a bioceramic. I think that's what Swatch calls it. It's a mixture of 75% ceramic, 25% plastic. It's just plastic. I don't know who they're lying to, it's just plastic. I mean, it has like the texture of a weird like smooth ceramic, but it's really just plastic. Going over the details of this watch, the Mission to Pluto has a burgundy bezel with the tachymeter, and it also has burgundy subdials. The ceramic case, bioceramic case, plastic case is a bluish gray. It's a very nice color contrasting the band, the strap, which is a dark gray. It says Omega on the loop piece and Swatch on the actual strap piece. And if you look at the strap, it says Speedmaster, Mission to Pluto, MoonSwatch. MoonMaster sounds better. I don't know why they didn't go with that. Big issue I do have with this watch really is the crystal. The crystal isn't a crystal. It's not Hazelite or anything like the real Speedmaster. It's just plastic, like a really bad plastic. And I have a few other Swatches, they're cheaper ones, and those crystals have never scratched. This scratches instantly, and you can see on the Mission to Venus, there's 2 scuffs over the subdials, which are terrible. You can't buff them out or anything. It's a really crappy crystal, and for the price I paid, for the name that's associated with it, this is actually terrible, terrible, terrible build quality. It came like this. Honestly, it's garbage. There is a small S that's kind of etched into the middle of the crystal, which is a nice touch. I think it's a cool detail. Not many people are going to notice it. But yeah, the crystal does really reflect the light really well. It's also inspired by the original Speedmaster Hazelite, obviously. The back of the case, as you can see, it has a picture of the planet that's supposed to represent on the battery cover, which is cool. It's actual imagery from NASA. Really nice touch. It says the name of the watch underneath it, and it has the normal Swatch etching. It says Swatch, Swiss made, water resistant, design patented, 44 jewels. On the edge around the case back, you can see it has a few phrases. It says, dream big, fly higher, explore the universe, and reach for the planets enjoy the mission. Honestly, it's really cheesy. I don't care. It's cool touch though, but I mean, if you get the lighter case versions, the dirt really just collects in those words, which is terrible, terrible, terrible. I don't get why Swatch did it. It's whatever. As you can see, the pushers for the subdials, very clicky, very responsive, very satisfying to use. Since it's a quartz movement, it's Swatch's typical quartz movement. It's not a very smooth sweeping hand like the original automatic Speedmaster. It's a very tick, tick, tick movement. It does make a lot of noise. You can hear it in a quiet room, very loud. Next up, we move on to the actual dial. So looking at the Mission to Pluto, you can see it's kind of like a vintage off-white cream dial. I really love it. It's honestly the big reason why I went for this color. It's the most underrated color of them all. I think the whole vintage aesthetic along with the burgundy really matches it well. I like calling this the red wine watch. It goes really well with suiting. If you can get a different strap on this, I honestly think this might be the best Speedmaster MoonSwatch to get. My only drawback would be is that for the Mission to Pluto, the markers and the hands are not loomed, which means they don't glow in the dark. Terrible decision, honestly. But on the Mission to Venus, the hands are loomed, the markers are loomed. They have a very nice silver border around them. Even the dials have a silver border around them, trying to like represent diamonds and whatnot. This watch comes in a pink bioceramic. It has a totally different bezel actually compared to the other watches. They have notches in them, which is actually a different design than the original Speedmaster. This is the only one that has it in this whole collection. And there's no dot over 90, which is a signature on the Omega Speedmaster, as you can see on the Mission to Pluto. Going over the Mission to Venus, it has a more beigey dial than the Mission to Pluto, but it also has contrasting pink hands. The strap, however, that's my only downside with this one particularly, is the strap. It is shorter than the Mission to Pluto. I mean, the Mission to Venus has a shorter strap. I'm assuming this is for women's. Honestly, just swap the strap out. If you get it, if you're a man and you really like this color, I mean, I do, pink's one of my favorite colors. So if you get it, swap the strap out because it is a very short strap. Looking at the strap, you can see they both say Omega on the loops. And the loops are made out of the same plastic bioceramic. It's more obvious that they're plastic when you look at the loops. Really nice Velcro, as you can hear this whole rip. It holds on really well. I think for some watches, I think the Velcro strap is what you want to keep on. But for others, definitely switch it out, like the Mission to Venus. Definitely switch it out, you have to. Well, for my personal opinion about this whole collaboration, I think it's a great idea. It's kind of a big thing with a huge prestigious watchmaker such as Omega collaborating with Swatch, which is bringing affordable watches to the masses. It's really nice that a lot more people can access the history and the lore of the whole Speedmaster. And I really hope they continue this collaboration in the future. I'd love to see a Tintin and Snoopy Speedmaster MoonSwatch in the future. I'd definitely pick one of those up if they ever drop it. But the whole release procedure, absolutely a mess. For the next drops, I hope Omega and Swatch really up their production and up their release schedule and procedures for this drop. As for my opinion on whether you should get this watch, if you can get it for retail, yeah, get it. It's honestly, I've seen a lot of people saying it's a toy Speedmaster or it's not worth it. I don't. I honestly think it's a great alternative to some people who can't really afford the Speedmaster. The Speedmasters are just going up in price now. They range from 6,000 Canadian dollars to like 81,000, which is absurd. I know there's a lot of watch collectors out there that can't really afford it, even vintage ones. And I think this is a great alternative, especially if you get it in a color that's more classic and more subtle instead of the bold, bright ones such as the yellow Mission to the Sun. If you are a Speedmaster owner and you're looking for something a little more playful, that's something you can wear on the daily, go for something bold. The Mission to Venus might be one of my favorite new watches right now, and I honestly think for a summertime watch, this is the perfect daily watch. Really affordable. I managed to pick up two because it was that affordable. Yeah, to all the people that say it's a toy Speedmaster, you kind of have a point, but not so much. It just really opens up the door to more collectors and more people who want to learn about the Speedmaster lore. Honestly, it opens the door for many young collectors such as myself to experience a watch that we might not be able to afford at the moment. I'm definitely looking into purchasing a real steel Speedmaster. I'm hoping I can do so within the next year or two. And I'll definitely do a video comparing the two once I can do. For now, I think this is a watch that you cannot pass on. If you get the opportunity to purchase it, do it. You won't regret it. As for paying resale though, don't, like literally don't. These aren't worth paying more than $400 Canadian, which is around 350 US. Don't pay more than that. I'm serious. These watches aren't worth that much. They're gonna drop in value eventually. Even if they say it's limited, not worth it. Don't pay resale. But if you can get it for retail, definitely purchase it. Hopefully they do more with this collaboration. I'm looking forward to what Omega and Swatch have next in store for us. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. This is my first watch review, and honestly, I'm so hyped that it can be these two watches, these beautiful, beautiful collaborations. Very, very excited that I got two of them. My next video, hopefully I can do a whole watch collection and my wish list for future watches. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see y'all later. Peace.